Welcome back to Deeper Conversations. I am Dr. Barbara Swinney, your life and holistic leadership coach and coach trainer. I am also the founder and CEO of Deeper Women Lead Global and the founder of this podcast, Deeper Conversations. This is a platform where women in leadership come to heal, lead, and learn how to leverage their stories and strategies for life, love, and leadership. So, as you can imagine, on this podcast, we'll be talking to powerful women about life, love, and leadership. They're going to share their strategies for healing, for leading, and then teaching you how to leverage your story, how to use your story to impact other women, how to use your story to start a business, how to use your story to create a platform. So listen in to all of these deeper women. I'm super excited that you're back today. We were here just a few weeks ago, and we were sitting on a similar couch, a different couch, but we were talking about how to overcome overwhelm. And just as we ended, you said something that was so powerful that I wanted to pick up on, and you said, busy is a blessing. So talk about changing your language. How do you change what better way to change your language than to say busy is a blessing? And I think you were even getting the revelation as you said it. So what did you mean when you said that?
Well, I guess I was in that place when I said that, because remember we were talking about overwhelm and the definition of overwhelm, and we were talking about how it's how we interpret everything that's going on, and we worry about what may happen or what may not happen. So we get so busy with the thought that we don't put our energy in doing what we need to do.
Yes.
So when I was talking about that, and when I was talking about how busy we can get, there's a blessing in that, because we are busy.
Yes.
And when you are busy, you're doing.
That's right.
And you're not busy being overwhelmed or overthinking it.
That's good.
So it's like you get busy
producing.
Producing.
Yes,
So that's what busy means to me.
Yes.
If I'm busy, I'm producing, I'm creating,
Yeah.
I'm doing, I'm taking action.
Yeah. So it's really all about your perspective and how you view what that looks like. Now, it might feel like busy if it's not leading to anything. You know, we do these repetitive actions that lead to nothing. As humans, I think we feel like we were sent to this earth to entertain ourselves. And when you only entertain yourself and you're planning party after party or going to game after game or whatever, you might feel busy because it's not necessarily leading to a certain end. And I think just as it's inherent in us as humans to operate in purpose. That's why some people are feeling lost and all of that. Where's my purpose? They're getting this vibration. And the vibration really is your purpose trying to make room for itself. And I know that you found your purpose some time ago. I was reading actually through your story. Dr. Leona, if you guys remember from last week, she's one of the co-authors of the Deeper Women Teach series. And I actually went and looked at your chapter, Dr. Leona, and I'm just going to read a bit of it, and I want you to respond to it. So Dr. Leona says, for a natural health care practitioner whose purpose was to help others get healthier naturally, I couldn't get my own health in order. It was frustrating. Can you take us back to that moment when you were frustrated with your weight? Because I know that that's what you help women with now. And generally, we teach from the place we've healed from. Can you take us back to that frustration?
What's the term that's called? Imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome.
Yes, that's what I felt like. You know, here I am, unhappy, overweight, just tired, and I'm trying to teach and lead people to do something that I was struggling leading myself with.
That's good.
So, you know, I felt guilty. I felt wrong. And I felt like I should have been doing something else. So it was that was one of the turning points in my life, actually, you know, doing something that I couldn't do for myself.
That's good.
Yeah.
So also there's a chapter in your part of the book that talks about how the journey began. How did you come to that? You know, you were I think I remember reading during the editing process, you were lying in the bed, you were overweight, you had your children and all of that, you were working, but you just didn't feel like you were getting anywhere.
I think I was busy doing things that weren't productive. It was distractions. I was busy with distractions to keep myself from doing what I needed to do.
That's good.
So when we talk about busy being a blessing, doing the right action with that busyness is what's the blessing. But sometimes we could be busy doing the wrong things.
That's good.
So I believe that I got to that point because I was busy trying to make others happy, busy trying to fit in, busy trying to be someone who I wasn't.
That's good.
And actually thinking like that for many, many years led to actions that didn't support who I was because I was busy trying to support the person other people wanted me to be.
That's good.
So then I turned into that person that I wasn't. And then I woke up one day just, who is this person?
Right. So often, you know, we talk about this whole podcast was developed to help women heal, lead, and leverage their stories and strategies for life, love, and leadership. And we talk about healing a lot. And oftentimes, you know, we think we're hurt or disappointed, and that's the thing that we're trying to heal. But what I've learned in my own journey is it's really your identity that you're trying to heal, your identity that you're trying to reconcile and reconnect with. And you said you woke up and you basically had become somebody else. How did you heal that part of your identity? How did you get back to who Dr. Leona was?
That's a difficult question because it's like when you're there, you don't know you're there until you decide that you want something different.
Right.
So I just really had to go deep.
Yeah.
And that ugly cry, that I don't know what I want, but I know it's not this.
Yes.
So I had to first get real with, I didn't want to be where I wanted to be.
Yes.
And I think when you get that in your mind, something subconsciously happens at a deep level.
Yes.
Deep cellular level. Yes. And then somehow, God, energy, however you want to refer it, it moves you in that right direction. And that's when you start to trust and start to move in that way that you wanted to move probably 20 years ago.
Yes.
But you were afraid or didn't understand what that was. And then after a moment, you're like, okay, I'm going to do it this way. Yeah. And that's when the growth happens.
Yeah, it's that whole evolution. I think we're constantly evolving. In fact, I think that that is a huge part of our purpose is really to get back to who we were sent here as. We weren't what we're becoming. I always say we came here as sculptors, but somewhere along the way we become sculpted. Somewhere along the way people start painting on us and molding us into what they think. And they're not even the thing because they've also been sculpted. So at the Deeper Women Lead conference, I walked in on you speaking. You were leading a session, and you were talking about your childhood. I have the ugly picture, the ugly cry picture.
Oh gosh!
What was it in your childhood? What were some of those things that helped to shape you, and maybe even cause you to land in that area of imposter syndrome?
Ooh, I gotta go back to that place. Trying to think, what that ugly cry. It was. I was breaking down too.
You were breaking down.
I think it was just feeling. Just you go through so much, and when you don't understand it, people have used you, people have lied to you, people have betrayed you. And I guess it was just all those feelings that were just surfacing that day. Yeah. And I believe that, that's where I was. It's like you get so tired of people not accepting who you are. And I think I was more mad at myself. Right. I didn't accept who I was.
Right.
And I think that's where that emotion came from. Just me it's like that metamorphosis of a butterfly.
Right.
You know, you can imagine going from a caterpillar to a butterfly, that pain they're
Right.
going through when they're going from one stage of life to another.
Right,
So I
right.
really believe that that's what I was going through, was
Right.
that breakthrough.
Right. And sometimes I think all of those things that we go through, like the butterfly, every stage causes some kind of trepidation, some kind of pain, some kind of energy. And when you are reconciling your identity, it's like tearing a sheet of paper. And when you tear a sheet of paper, once it's finished, neither part is left the same. So you can look at the edges, and the edges are all tattered and torn. And when you are on that journey, I believe that most of this stuff is happening for us. There are some relationships that we wouldn't have left if the person didn't injure us. There are some things that we would not have moved on from. And you talked about being angry with yourself. And when we're talking about healing, forgiveness is a huge part of healing. Where were some of those places that you had to forgive yourself?
Many. First, I had to forgive myself for what I didn't know. Because I do believe that I did the best that I knew how to do, what I was taught to do. But then when you see the results, I think that's where you get angry at. I've done all this. I went to school. I got the good grades.
Yes.
I was the good wife. I was, I did all these things.
Yeah.
But then, you look at your life and you're just not happy.
Right.
So I think it was just forgiving myself for wasting the time I didn't mean to waste.
Yes.
And just know, hey, I did the best that I could.
Yeah.
And just saying I'm willing to move forward from that and learn from those mistakes. So it's actually, I don't regret it anymore, because I don't think I'd be the person I am today without that pain, because it was that pain that made me move. Because if I wasn't in pain, say, for example, I love analogies, if you touch a hot stove, you're going to move your hand. But if that stove isn't hot and it's just a slow burn or warm, it just burns you slowly. But sometimes you got to, it has to be real hot to make you just move. And I think when I was emotional, when I was crying, when I was hurt, when I was angry, my hand was on that hot fire.
That's good. That's good. And I love that analogy. I got a picture in my head, because I think in images. Of you snatching your head. No, but when it's really hot, like what happened in my life, I felt like the breakdown in my life was a really hot, when the flames turn red, or is it blue that they're hottest?
Hot.
Whenever they're hottest.
It's red.
That's what was happening in my life.
Anyway.
It was really hot. But I think the hotter the fire, the quicker you make the change. It pushes you to yourself. And I think it makes the journey, it accelerates the journey, I believe, of you finding yourself and healing that thing. And I think at this point, we're kind of like professional healers. Like there's not a lot of stuff that we go through that we wouldn't be able to take 3 days and lay in our snot and heal, because we've learned to release it, accept that you're disappointed, release it, and move on. What do you do to stay on top of your healing, so that it's kind of like preventative care? How do you stay on top of the healing to make sure you're always in the right space to do that?
That's one of my favorite questions, because a lot of people think healing is a destination. Once you're there, you're there. But it's a journey, because as soon as you heal one thing, it's like, hello, there's something else you got to heal.
Yes.
Oh, you don't trust people? Okay, you got to work on that. Oh, you're fearful to start a podcast? Okay, you got to work on that.
Yes.
So it's like so there's layers of healing, and it's a journey. So now to me is healing, being able to face those challenges, being able to do what needs to be done, being busy with the things that you know that are productive. And sometimes we have to do the things that we don't want to do, but we have to do, like wash the dishes and clean the bathroom. Okay. So, or delegate it, but you know what I'm saying? But so it's like healing is being able to be okay with where you're at and being able to deal with that situation.
That's good. I like, we were talking in the green room. We were talking about your podcast. You have the Heal Deal podcast, and you talked about how you're a solo podcaster, and my personality, I can be with people or not, but I do enjoy being with people. And you might be a little more of a loner than I am.
Yes.
So you enjoy doing the podcast by yourself, but you said you're coming out of that. You're thinking about, you might have something coming up. You're thinking about probably inviting people on. And that kind of reminded me of what you said earlier, understanding that you are in the healing process and that there are layers. So because of your personality, it wasn't your personality just to jump on there with somebody, but getting behind the mic and getting it all together and hanging out with your friend, Dr. Swinney, you're becoming more open to the idea.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my things. I've always been an introvert or a loner. And I think a lot of my frustration was me trying to be that extrovert when I wasn't. When I feel good when I'm by myself, I'm fine. People are like, what's wrong with you? But I'm okay with being by myself and reading and researching. So that was part of my healing, was just being okay with that's who I am. But at the same time, if I have to, but actually part of my healing was reaching out. Because sometimes for the loners out there, with the introverts, this thing is we get so in our head that we don't heal because we don't communicate. So part of my healing was able to step out and actually learn from others. Because sometimes you can't see what's going on with you until someone brings it to your attention.
And I've also learned that the more and more you get to you, the more people like you come to you. For example, our personalities are very similar. And we're deep thinkers. We like to be by ourselves, but we can have fun with people. But our energy comes when we're by ourselves. And it's draining, really, to be with people. Like, we don't like people that much. But we like to be with people when we're advancing them and when they are helping us to change or shift our perspective. We like to be changed. We want meaningful connections and interactions with people. I want to walk away feeling different or having a different revelation, or you helping me to see something different. That was one of the things that I was really attracted to you with your personality. I feel like we got each other. We could probably sit in a room together and just be quiet and don't say anything and nobody's mad at each other. So I love that about you. Can you tell us what was kind of a pivotal moment? What made you want to start helping women in the area that you help them in? Because your background it's similar to what you do, but it's a little different from what your passion is.
Well, when I was going through my journey, I was, a practicing doctor. I had a practice. So that's when I had that imposter syndrome. So when I started to heal myself, it just changed the way I helped others, because I wasn't being very effective. I mean, I did help, but it was like it just went at a different level after I went through it myself. For example, when I was underweight, let me rephrase that. After I had issues with my weight, I was better able to help people with weight because I've been there. People that have been hurt or divorced, I was able to relate to that and tie it into their healing. Because sometimes a lot of our health issues isn't really about, diet and exercise all the time. It was about, I was feeding my emotions. I was hurt. But once you heal that hurt, then they're like, okay, I can eat better. I can do better. I can smile. And then it's easier to make those changes. So once I was able to tap into that connection, that's what it helped me as far as helping other people, is how. My how changed.
That's good. That's good. So we want to make sure we are giving people strategies to get to their next. We talked a lot about healing, and as you begin to heal your personality, you really do become a more effective leader in your own life. I think it was Warren Bennis who said that if you want to become a more effective leader, become more of who you truly are. So it is inevitable that you become a better leader as you heal. So you're moving through this process. You became a leader in your own life, a more effective leader in your own life. And now you're leveraging all of the stuff you thought you lost, or all of the stuff that you healed from. How are you leveraging your experiences? How are you using that to operate in your business, to help other women?
Leveraging that. I just feel like my life and my business are one.
That's good.
That's how I feel. That's why,
good.
even when you ask me that question, I'm like, really thinking, how am I going to answer that? Because it really is what I do.
Yeah.
Either off camera, on camera, in the office, out of the office. I feel like my story can help in and out of business. And
That's
I really
good.
think that's what leveraging is making sure that what the client invests in or the time someone invests in, they're going to come out better.
That's good.
And I feel like that's what I feel with my relationship. Back to the beginning, we were talking about being busy. If it doesn't, if my actions or what I decide to be busy with doesn't improve my life or help someone else or my children, then
What's the point?
Yeah,
like, what's the
don't do
point
it.
of going through it? Right.
Yeah, don't waste your time with stuff that doesn't
Yeah.
serve you. Don't waste your time with people that don't serve you.
That's good.
And I think that was part of my healing, being able to determine what's really busy, what's the blessing, and what's not. So that's how I leverage it. Just being a blessing.
That's good.
Is my leverage.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Thank you so much, Dr. Dr. Leona is a nut. I love it. What was that thing? What did we start calling ourselves? The cool nerds.
Oh yeah, cool nerds.
The cool nerds.
Hashtag cool
yeah,
nerds.
Hashtag cool nerds. That's going to be a thing, so y'all watch out for that. But thank you so much for spending this time. But we didn't talk about, before we go, I want you to remind them of what you actually do. I know you do a lot.
Yes.
But like in the next, few seconds.
Yes, I am founder of Freedom Health Systems, where I specialize in chiropractic and natural weight loss and lifestyle coaching. I'm also an author of Freedom in Chains, A Journey to Healing, and also co-author of Deeper Women Teach. And I'm also a host of the Heal Deal podcast.
And she's my friend.
Mother of two,
Yes.
and yeah, that's important too.
Yes.
Proud mother of two.
How can they find you, Dr. Leona?
They can find me at drleona.com, drleona.com. And on that site, you'll see all my other handles, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff.
She is a force, y'all. Don't let the calm demeanor fool you. She is indeed a force. Thank you so much, Dr. Leona.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, before you go, everybody that comes on, you probably already have 2 or 3 of these t-shirts, but I'm going to give you another Leading the Deeper Life t-shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can catch deeper conversations on all of the major podcast platforms and on YouTube. Go to Deeper Leader TV and you'll be able to find every episode of Deeper Conversations.